In today's tutorial, we're going to learn to make a personalized cardstock gift box. Plus, I have a free file download for you. Today we're going to learn how to make, personalize, and cut out a gift box using your Silhouette Cameo and cardstock. The supplies you're going to need is your Silhouette Cameo, Silhouette Studio software, 12x12 gift box file. If you will look in the description box below, you will find a download link for the studio file and the SPG file. You will need an auto ratchet or CB09 blade, 2 pieces of 12x12 cardstock. You want to be sure that the piece that you use for the bottom of your box is a sturdy piece. You need some type of adhesive, craft glue, hot glue, spray adhesive, and or double stick tape, your choice. If you're personalizing your box, you need to think about how you want to personalize it, whether it's with 631 vinyl, cardstock, 651. If you are using vinyl, you also need to think about a piece of transfer tape to go along with it. I'm going to be using 631 vinyl because I have a ton of colors in it. I don't use it very often. And the transfer tape I would use for that will be just a small scrap piece of contact paper that I picked up at Walmart. I'll be using that because it's low tack and it will not rip the paper from my cardstock. Also, another thing that you can do to your box that you might want to think about is putting a piece of clear plastic behind your personalized window. If you want to do so, you will need 1 piece of clear vellum, acetate, laminating sheet, or something similar. You may have a piece of clear plastic laying around from other packaging. I'm going to be using a piece cut off of a 12x12 scrapbook protective sheet. Get all your supplies together and let's go to designing our personalization of our box. Once you've downloaded the file, go ahead and open the file of your choice. We're going to use the studio file today. Once you open up your file, you'll see I have everything labeled as to what is what. You have your bottom here. You have your lid that is already loaded on your mat. And to the left of the mat, you have a square piece. And I have it labeled for you. It says this is the optional piece. If you decide to do so, I've just tried to make it easy for you. If you want to use the plastic, you can load the plastic on your mat, cut it with your machine, and you're good to go. If you're using the studio file, you're pretty much ready to go. If you do not wish to personalize your box, all you need to do is cut out your bottom and cut out your lid and do your construction. We're going to work on personalization first. One thing you will notice with your file is you have perforated lines. Your perforated lines are your fold lines. These will cut right along with your cut lines when you send it to be cut. They will just be little dashes into your paper. This is where you will fold on your cardstock. Your straight lines, obviously, are your cut lines. When you click on the straight cut lines, you'll see that they are not connected to your dashed lines. You do not want to group those together. Let's go ahead and work on our personalization. Click anywhere on your straight cut lines. You're going to right click, choose ungroup. Now you're going to click on your inner box window, right click, and release compound path. Now you would choose your inner window. Now your inner window is a separate piece now. I'm going to zoom in so that you can see. This is the piece that we will be using to personalize. You can personalize literally with anything that you choose. It's completely up to you. You can personalize the whole square. You can do happy birthday, a name, a design, anything that you want to. The steps are all the same. We're going to personalize with a name today. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the text tool. And I'm going to type out the name Caroline. I'm going to go ahead and highlight that name and change the outline color. And then the font fill color. And then I will go ahead and change the font to the font that I want. And since I'm using a script font, I know that I need to weld this font together. So I'm going to go ahead and select my font, right click and choose weld. And because one or more of my letters do not touch each other, I'm going to go ahead and right click and make a compound path. Now I know I need this name a bit bigger, but I want to keep it contained inside of the box. Now what I want to do is I want to make an offset. With my text selected, I'm going to choose the offset window, choose offset. And then I'm just going to leave the settings as they are and then click apply. Around the text, it is left an offset, or some call it a bubble. Now this is our offset. The only thing that is selected right now is our offset. So I'm going to click off of the mat and then I'm going to select my offset and my text together. What I need to do is I need to resize this. and make this slightly bigger. I need my offset, which is the red outline, to go past my inner box just slightly on either side and a little bit down on the bottom. You may not want it to go past on the bottom, and that is fine. But for me, I want it to go past the bottom a little bit and then a little on each side. You do not want it to touch your dotted lines. So I'm going to take a corner and I'm just going to drag it until I see my offset go past the inner box window. Then you can pull it down and move it until you get the desired look that you're wanting. Now that looks perfect to me. We have a little bit of the offset hanging off right here, some hanging off here, part of the Y here, then part of the E here. Click anywhere off the mat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on my inner box window, then I'm going to hold down the shift key, then I'm going to choose my offset. That way they're both selected together. Now we're going to go to the modify window and we're going to choose subtract. Now we're going to click anywhere off the mat and I'm going to remove my text. I'm just going to remove it off the mat. And as you can see, my inner box window is here and this is my offset. Now they have become one. This is why you need to be sure that part of your offset hangs over your inner window. If it touches the dotted lines, this will not happen. If it does not go over the box, this will not happen. You can choose to leave these inner pieces, or you can click on each individual piece holding the shift button while you click, and you can choose to delete them. Now, this will all cut as one. Now I'm going to select my whole lid. I'm going to go to my transform tool and I'm going to choose center. I'm choosing center to make sure that it's sitting correctly on my mat. If you will notice, with your bottom and your lid, you will have a hairline gap all the way around your mat. Now, if you were done with your personalization, you still have your lid highlighted. Go to your send, make sure your cut lines are on, choose your material, your tool, whatever settings that you use to cut cardstock, and go ahead and send to be cut. I use a ratchet blade, set on 3, speed at 4, force at 20, and I only do one pass through. So when you're ready to do your bottom, the only thing you'll do is you'll highlight so that you're sure to get your perforated lines and your cut lines. Drag it over to your mat. You'll go to your transform tool and you'll select center. This centers everything as we did with the lid. Load your cardstock on your mat. Make sure everything is highlighted. You're ready to go. Make sure your cut lines are on. If you're using a heavier cardstock for your bottom, be sure to adjust your settings as you need to and send that through to be cut. And the next parts are pretty much self-explanatory. If you're using vinyl to cut your name or your wording, go ahead and send that through. Have that cut out. Now your plastic, what I've been using is the 12 by 12 scrapbook page protectors. I picked up at Walmart. It's a 10-pack, and you cut those sheets in half, so you actually get 20 sheets. And then I use this square. It's a little less than an 8 by 8. I load the sheet of plastic onto the mat. I cut it out. The settings I use to cut the plastic is just what I use to cut 631 or 651 vinyl. And if you're going to cut with your machine for your plastic, when you get ready, go ahead and send that through. Let's get everything sent through and let's start on the construction of our box, and we'll see you at the craft table. Okay, now we have everything cut out, ready to start assembling our box. I'm going to use double stick tape to assemble our box together, but you can also use spray adhesive or glue. I've also used the Scotch Create permanent glue pen I got on the scrapbook aisle just at Walmart. We have our box bottom, we have the box top, the 631 vinyl with the name cut out, X-Acto knife in case we need it, squeegee. This is our piece of plastic that will go behind the window. We'll go ahead and start assembling our box. If you have personalization, you want to go ahead and do that first. It's going to be more difficult to do it if you already have your lid assembled in order to get your words on there. It's going to be very hard. So we're going to do that before we do any folding. And I just use, like I said, I just use the Contact brand clear contact paper from Walmart just because it has a low tack stick to it. It doesn't pull the paper from the cardstock, so it doesn't ruin my paper. I only use that for this cardstock and making these boxes. We already have our offset, so we know where our words go. Place down your wording. So now we have our wording down. Next thing we want to do is we want to start folding on these perforated lines. So if you need to, you can turn your paper over. If it's easier for you to find your fold lines, go ahead and do so. Once you fold it, go back over it with your finger and then unfold it. You'll still see your fold lines. Do that on all sides of your lid. So now we have our perforated lines folded. Now we're going to turn it over where the bottom is facing up. We're going to take all of our tabs, make sure they are inwards in the box. And what I do with my double stick tape is I put a piece on the small tab. I set up the tab. Then I take my longer edge where it meets, and then I press firmly together. I'll do the same to all the tabs, and you will see how they meet. The edge of the long box and the edge of the tabs come together. And we'll do that on the other end. Your edges are together, and now you have a box lid. If you do not wish to put a piece of plastic behind your window here, then you're done with your top. If you do want to put the piece of plastic behind your window, this is where you will turn it back over or leave it on the underside. Take your plastic. What I do is I put my double stick tape down in a few spots on my personalization, and then I'll take a couple of really, really small pieces of the double-sided tape, and I'll stick it a couple along the corners and the edge before I put my plastic down. And once you make several of these boxes, you'll learn what works for you and what adhesive you want to use. This is just my way of doing it. Now I have all the adhesive down. You're going to take your plastic. I get it placed where I need it. I start at one corner and I slowly lay it down so that there's no wrinkles. And now my plastic is set. So now my lid is completely done. And the only thing we have left is to put our box bottom together. So we'll set that aside and grab our bottom and go ahead and put that together. All we have to do is fold on the perforated lines. We'll go ahead and do that now. And now we're ready to put it together. Your little flaps go on the inside. Get your adhesive again. I take a small piece. I put one small piece on I set it up. I bring my wall up to it and I press firmly. I will do the same to all of them. Okay, so now we have our bottom together. Our top is finished. And now we just need something to put in it. But other than that, we are completely done. Put your top and your bottom on. Slide the top onto the bottom carefully. And now you have a perfect personalized gift box that you made. And if you don't personalize them, they're just as beautiful. The possibilities with this box is absolutely endless. If you have any problems or any questions or comments, concerns, feel free to leave a comment below. If you need any further help, feel free to message me. You can go to my Facebook page, Our Crafty Chaotic Life. You can message me there. I'll be glad to help you. You can go to the About section here on the YouTube page. Message me there. I'll be more than glad to help you, give you one-on-one help. I don't mind. If there's a tutorial that you would like to see that you're needing help with, or that you would just like to know how to do, let me know that too. I'll be glad to help you with that. And if there's anything that I can ever do to help you become more successful in your business or in your craft, feel free to let me know. Thank you for watching and coming back and watching the tutorials. Be sure that you comment, like, subscribe, share our page if you would, and we will see you again next time. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.